Welcome again. In this clip, we will focus on sedimentary rocks. Movements in the earth have created mountains. Erosion will start and mountains will produce sediments which we call terrigenous sediments. This is the source of our sedimentary system. The sediments will be transported by torrents through the mountains, will reach large open valleys, and will eventually enter the sea where they will accumulate. This is the source-to-sink system, a key concept to understand sedimentary rocks and the resources they contain. Sedimentary rocks are crucially important for society and therefore for this course. The largest cities on Earth are on sedimentary rocks. Mankind as a whole depends on the responsible use of the subsurface. Water for agriculture and drinking, geothermal energy, an increasing number of subsurface infrastructures, hydrocarbons, mining and storage of CO2 are all examples of the increasing use we make of the subsurface. The source-to-sink system works somewhat like the economy. The source is comparable to the factory where the goods are produced. These are the sediments in our case. The sediments are then transported by different means and eventually will reach the market, which in our sedimentary system is called the sink. Let us look first at how sediments are produced. Expanding and contracting ice, rain and wind are all major agents breaking mountain rocks and producing sediments. In addition, rainwater, often acid, chemically attacks less stable minerals such as feldspars, producing clay minerals. Vertical movements in the source area are of great importance in sedimentary system. If the source area experiences strong vertical movements, relief is rejuvenated and sediment production can continue for a long time. If, on the contrary, if vertical movements decrease or even end, then the source area will become less productive, eventually producing no sediments at all. Vertical movements, rock types and climates in the source area are the key factors controlling the amount and type of sediments produced. Eroded sediments are taken over by water or wind and transported to the sea. In the mountains, they will be carried by irregularly flowing torrents and creeks. In the foothills and in the wide, gentle plains, rivers will be wider, often meandering, and will irregularly flood the surrounding plains. Eventually, the rivers will reach the sea, often forming large deltas and delivering the sediments to the final sink, the marine domain. A key concept in the analysis of sedimentary succession is that of accommodation space, which is the vertical dimension of the space where sediments can be deposited and preserved. In the marine case, this corresponds to the height of the water column between the sea level and the sea floor. In the case shown in the picture, the accommodation space could be around 10 meters. If nothing else changes, sediments delivered to the sea will gradually fill up the accommodation space and the maximum sediment thickness will be comparable to that of the accommodation space, that is 10 meters. In the slide, the remaining accommodation space is 4 meters. However, sedimentary successions in the world can be kilometers thick. We are clearly missing something important. The existence of a thick sedimentary succession roughly deposited at the same water depth requires an increase of the accommodation space through time. This is achieved by letting the lower boundary of the accommodation zone descend through time. The downward movement of the surface of the Earth, which is called subsidence, is a process of key importance in geology and in our MOOC. Sediments eroded from the mountain are not only the only type of sediments you will find in the sea. Away from deltas and in areas where the waters are clean, carbonate sediments can develop. These are sediments created by organisms and therefore are necessarily linked to life. This is the domain of coral reefs or large mud flats covered by algae and of the clean white sands of shells and biological grains.